everyone. First day of Intro to Family Science. I'm not going to keep you too long today. I want to run over a few different things and kind of point you around Blackboard site and run through the syllabus very quickly, and then also talk about a couple of things pertaining to class content as well. And then also kind of talk to you a little bit about the schedule and how that's going to work and getting through this class in 2.5 weeks. So a couple of things that you need to know. This is the first time I've ever done Intro online, and it's the first time that I have ever done Intro in 2.5 weeks. So we're cramming a lot into a little. We'll see how it goes. You all are going to be my guinea pigs. I think I said that in the first email that I sent you. So I'm still building the Blackboard site, but there's stuff on there that you will need for the next 2 days for sure. Today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, as you're reading and beginning prep for this course. But let's start with the syllabus. Hopefully everyone got that via email. If you didn't, it is posted in the Blackboard site just under the syllabus tab. You can go in there and download that. So office hours are going to be by appointment. What I mean by that is you can email me at any time, and we will figure some things out. I'm also going to do something for you that I don't typically do for the intro class. In fact, most of the time you got to wait till your junior year to get this, but I'm going to give you my cell phone number just in case you need to send a text and I'm not answering my emails. You can send me a text message. That number is 405-612-6765. Just shoot me a text. Let me know who you are when you text me, and go ahead and ask a question. My only request for that is if it's at night, especially after around 6 or 7 o'clock, unless it's an emergency, try not to blow up my phone because I'll be spending a lot of time with family. We have t-ball game, 3 t-ball games this week, so it's going to be a crazy week anyways. But that's my family time, so I'll definitely want to respect that. The mission statement, you guys can read through all of that. Those of you who haven't had me before, my Christian worldview and my teaching philosophy are written into the syllabus, and so you can read that just to kind of get a better idea of who I am as a professor and how I like to teach. Course description, hopefully you know a little bit about what you're getting into in this course. This is an introduction course to family science. It's the very first required course for all of our majors and minors, and in fact we typically want you to have this course before you take any other courses. So I know a lot of you actually are taking it this summer so that here in a few weeks when the fall semester starts, you can jump into some of the other course offerings. So I'm glad that you've decided to do that. You can see all of the objectives written there. Basically what we are doing in this class is we're going to throw a lot at you. We're going to cover through our readings in our book pretty much all of the different topics that you will take individual courses in over your career as a family science major or minor here at OC. So, some of those courses will include things like parent-child relations, so we'll look at parenting. They will include family development, so we'll look at things like love and dating and marriage and what that looks like. You'll have a course in sexuality, you'll have a course in divorce, and everything that you read in this textbook you will probably have a full semester on later on at some point. So a very quick intro to everything. Along with that, not just the topics, and maybe more importantly, we're going to actually introduce the field of family science to you. And we're going to do that in a couple of ways. We're going to talk about careers and all of the different things that you can do as a family scientist. And we're going to talk about writing, because as a scientist, there will be a lot of writing in the field. So we'll talk about how to do that. Our writing style is APA. This is probably a new style for many of you. I know in high school, typically people are writing in Turabian or some other style like that. Nothing wrong with those. Just for our field, everything is done in APA, so we're going to learn about that. So Wednesday's video is going to be all about APA writing and getting you started with your APA writing assignment for this course. So definitely want to make sure that you're on watching that video. As far as course requirements go, there will be some. There'll be three big assignments. The first is the APA writing assignment, where again you'll learn to write in APA style. It's going to be broken into three sections, which you'll be able to see on the calendar at the end of the syllabus. You'll also have a faith and learning assignment, where you're going to combine what you're learning about APA with class content and with your own faith walk. And so we will get to that when we get to the content area of marriage and what that looks like for families. And then what you will do is 3 steps. The first step is you will, in beginning with what is talked about in class via that lecture video, you'll begin to summarize your own biblical script on marriage. So you'll think about certain aspects of marriage that are interesting to you, and you'll immediately go to your Bible to provide scripture references and support the ideas of that marriage. So it might be something like the idea of marriage is meant to be long-lasting, meant to last forever. And so you might go and find some biblical script on that. Then you're going to, step 2, compare and contrast your biblical view of marriage or your faith view of marriage with what the research says. And so you'll be looking at that, and you're going to consult these 3 empirical journal articles, and we'll talk more about that either Wednesday or Friday of this week. We'll talk about how to go find those empirical articles and what all that means. And you'll just kind of compare those. How does the research relate to what you're finding in Scripture? And then step 3 is going to be writing a reflective response. So what new ideas did you explore through the assignment? Where were you in your own thought on how marriage develops? How does that relate to your own struggles and your own personal relationships? And you can see several other questions written there in your syllabus. So that assignment is really meant to kick us off on the right foot in this program, where we are combining science and faith. And you will learn very quickly that I love science. I am a man of science. I'm a scientist. I love research, but I'm also a man of faith. And while I think the world tells us that those 2 things are constantly at odds, I believe that both science and faith actually go hand in hand and actually enhance each other. And so my faith has grown even deeper as I've explored science in greater ways. So hopefully that will be hopefully that will be something for you as well. And then you'll submit that paper towards the end of the 2.5 weeks as well. The third thing that you're going to do is a career planning project. And basically what you're going to do, I'm going to walk you through a little book in a little bit. You're going to figure out what it is that you want to do in family science. You are going to choose a career, and there are a lot of them. And so we will look at what those are. And you're going to just think, okay, what am I interested in? This by no means means that you have to be locked into this. If you choose a career to research and present on, I'm not going to call you on the phone in 5 or 10 years and say, in intro, you said you were going to be doing this, and now you're doing something else. That's not what this is. This is to get you to begin to explore possible careers in family science. And some of you are coming in and you know what you want to do. You want to do marriage and family therapy, or you want to do social work, or you want to do ministry, or whatever it is. And that's great. So explore that. And some of you are coming into family science and you're just not sure what it is that you want to do. That's great too. Hopefully, the little book I'm going to show you will help you with some of that. So you're going to create a 1 to 2 page document that is consistent with APA styles, that's going to answer questions, and I will give you, I will post the rubric for that so you can see the different sections that I want included in that little paper. And then what you're going to do is you're going to record yourself just presenting that paper on that career, whatever you found. The recording should last no more than 5 minutes, about 5 minutes long, and just tell us you found out about that particular career field, and that will be turned in, I believe, on the very last day of class, which I believe is Wednesday, August 12th. And then exams, there will be 3 exams in the class. There will not be a comprehensive final. Each exam will be over the sections of the textbook that you're going to read. Now, because of time, both mine and yours, and because of just the way the class is set up now, I'm not going to give 3-hour lectures every day on each of these chapters, and so you're going to have to be responsible for reading through the textbook on your own, which means you're probably going to have a chapter or two to read every night, highlight, take notes on. I will hit some important things on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from the chapters for that day and probably the next, but there is no way that I will be able to cover everything. So you're going to have to read on your own and jump into the text, be motivated to do that in order to pass those exams. But again, not everybody tests well, so I want you to understand that those 3 exams are worth 300 points. That's only half the class. The other 3 things, the 3 papers, are also worth 300 points, and so they're weighted equally. So if you mess up an exam, it's not going to kill you for the class, and so we'll deal with that. But please make sure that you are reading. Which brings me to your text. You should have, this is the book, and it's Marriages and Families, Changes, Choices, and Constraints. This is the 9th edition. A digital copy of the book is totally fine with me. If that's what you want to get, I am okay with that. The second text is a text called Careers in Family Science, which is posted to Blackboard, and in just a little bit I will show you where that's posted at so that you can download and read through that as well. And we'll actually spend some time in that today, and then I would encourage you to read through that PDF booklet over the next 2.5 weeks, especially as you're working towards your career project and what that is going to look like. Okay, as far as everything else, if you need help with anything, just let me know, and we will figure some things out together. The tentative course schedule there at the very end of the syllabus has everything down from today through the 12th. Because this was originally supposed to be an in-person class, I'm treating it that way, and going to try to I'm going to give you the weekends off from having to listen to me and doing extra reading and things like that. What that means, though, is you're going to have to work hard during the week to make sure that you're keeping up with all of the reading and all of the assignments, and that'll give you time on the weekends if you need it to continue working on some assignments that may or may not be due. You'll also see on the exam days, so Friday the 31st this week, you'll have an exam over the first 4 chapters of the book and some other stuff that we've talked about in those class periods. There's nothing else due that day, and then next Thursday, August 6th, you'll have a second exam, and again, nothing due that day. Just you'll take the exam. There's not a set time for you to take that exam. You'll just need to take it sometime that day. It'll open at excuse me. It will open at midnight on that day, and it will stay open until 11:59 that night. So you'll have 24 full hours to take the exam, but then it will close. And so that Saturday the 1st at midnight, that exam from that Friday will be closed, and so on with the other exams. On Tuesday, August 11th, you'll take your 3rd exam, and you'll see that that's actually before the end of class. That's because I want to make sure that for that Wednesday, you're able to get your career presentations in and uploaded on that last day. You'll also see that your faith and learning assignment will be due that Tuesday. However, we will actually assign that the week before, and so you'll have that week to work on it, so it shouldn't interfere too much with studying for that last test. Again, just keep up with the readings. If you have questions at some point, just let me know. Okay, let me share with you excuse me. Let me share with you oh, hold on, I'm getting messages on my screen. To do different things. I'm going to share with you the tab for Blackboard right now. So you should be able to see the course content folder for Blackboard. And actually, I am going to ask Lauren, can you confirm that that's what's on the screen right now?
The chapter PowerPoints and stuff.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So this is our Blackboard page, and when you go into the Blackboard page and you click on the course content folder, it will take you to this, where you will see a folder that says chapter PowerPoints and a folder that says handouts. What is in here. You can see uploaded right now, and there'll be some others uploaded in a little bit, are Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 PowerPoints. So be sure to look through those as well while you are reading. Those are going to highlight specific points from the chapter that you're going to want to know when it comes time for the exam. And I'm not going to walk you through all of those PowerPoints because we just don't have the time to do that. But I want to make sure that you know where those things are at so that you can find them. In the handouts folder, you will see several different things as the semester goes on. But first, and most importantly for today, you will see the Career and Family Science booklet. And so when you click on that, it should open like this. And you will see this little booklet. This actually used to be a hard copy booklet, but NCFR, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, has taken everything online, and so you can see this whole PDF document now, and that's what I want you to read through. 52 pages, but it's a pretty quick little read. Just some things that you'll see talking about family science and what it is, and what you can do with a family science degree, talking about graduate school and career opportunities. This is going to be the best starting point as you begin to think about what might that career be that you want to explore. Also in the handouts for today, you're going to see Family Science at OC, and when you download that, you will get a document that comes up that will look like. Let me stop sharing that. It should look like this, and I'm not sure. Lauren, again, what are you seeing on your screen right now?
I'm only seeing you right now.
See if we can fix that. Nope, I don't think it's happening. Okay. I'm going to try one more thing here. Nope, that's not going to work either. There we go. Now what are you seeing? Still me?
That's still you.
Well, it does not want to share this. Okay, well, you're going to have to trust me on this. If you go to that page and you click on the Family Science at OC link, you will immediately download a document. And when you open it, I wish I could show it to you, but it doesn't want to share anything else from my screen. So you'll just have to trust me on this. We are actually going, excuse me, we're going to walk through that document in just a second. But we're going to do a couple of other things as well today. So let me just pause for a second, give you all a breather for a second, and a chance to maybe catch up with some notes that you were making in your syllabus. I will call up a couple of things for us to walk through today, and then we'll get started again. Okay, well, let's jump back into it. What I would like for you to do is, excuse me, what I'd like for you to do is call up the Family Science at OC sheet from the handout, and I'll walk through this very quickly with you. As I said, this is an introduction course to family science here, and so there are going to be some terms that you need to know that are, of course, introductory, and will kind of set the stage for what we are doing moving forward. I'm also going to share some content with you from that family science, careers in family science booklet as well. So as we work through that worksheet, the very first question is, what does NCFR stand for? NCFR is a very important acronym that you need to know. NCFR stands for the National Council on Family Relations. NCFR is the governing body kind of family science research. It's one of several organizations like that, but it is kind of the gold standard for family science, kind of like the APA, the American Psychological Association, is for psychology. NCFR, you will hear me refer to NCFR a lot. Every year, NCFR has a national conference that I have been able to go to for the last several years, and I've presented research at pretty much every year since 2012, I believe. So NCFR is a pretty cool organization. I have been on the board for the affiliates. Affiliates are scattered throughout the country. There are state and local affiliates. For example, you will also hear me talk about OKCFR, which is the Oklahoma Council on Family Relations. That's our state organization, and we do a statewide conference every spring that you will have opportunities to go to and even present research at. We have consistently taken the largest group or one of the largest groups of students for the last several years. And so that's something for us to get excited about. And you'll definitely hear more about that as we turn the corner into the spring semester and start preparing for that. You will have opportunity to do your own research, and so this is a good time to pause. We're talking about NCFR and OKCFR to talk about research outside of class. Those of you that are family science majors, you will actually do research your junior and senior year, basically, when you are in the research methods and experimental research classes. And the research that you do for those classes, you will have to present at a conference. There's also going to be plenty of opportunity for you to do research with your peers outside of class. In fact, we had a couple of great studies that were underway last year that we weren't able to complete because of the COVID virus shutting everything down. But we had some studies that were accepted to the Oklahoma Council on Family Relations Conference, and so we're going to continue work on those when we get back this fall. So if you are at all interested in that, we'll have some family science meetings very early on where we can talk about getting together and doing that research outside of class. And so I encourage you to jump on that. Those types of things will look good on your Vita, your resume in the future. Also, along with that, we are petitioning to have our own affiliate, because along with state and local affiliates, several college campuses have student affiliates. In fact, just across town at UCO, they have a student affiliate of NCFR that they call CCFR, Central Council on Family Relations. We are petitioning and applying to have a student affiliate on OC's campus. This would serve as kind of our family science club. And one of our upperclassmen, Hannah Durham, is going to be our first president for that organization as we begin to get it underway this school year. So that's pretty exciting for us as well, and we'll have things, service events and research and family science activities through that club. So that's something to be excited for as well. Just by being a family science major or minor, you are automatically a part of the club. That's the great news. It's for you, and so we want to grow together, continue growing together as a department. So what does NCFR stand for? Hopefully you have just repeated back the National Council on Family Relations, and you recognize it as kind of an oversight body for all things family science. The second question, sentence on that sheet says, explain the statement family science is rooted in systems thinking. And for that, I would take you back to the content that is on the screen right now, from the book, where you can look there in the early pages, and you can actually see a great explanation of how family science is rooted in systems thinking. Basically, family systems are any family makeup, right? There's a lot of different ways that our family systems are made up. There's some that we might consider the more traditional family system, 2 parents and children, maybe a dog, but there are other family system structures, and the idea is that there is a relationship internally between family members, and externally between the family itself and the environment that they find themselves in. And so we say family science is rooted in systems thinking because we are family systems thinkers. Family systems is a theoretical perspective that is the perspective uh, for family science. It's kind of the granddaddy of all family theories. And so you will actually have opportunity to take a course in systems thinking in your career. We will talk about it in family development, which is a theory class. We'll talk about it in family resilience, which is another theory class. We are definitely rooted in the idea that every family is a system and that every family is interacting both within and without. And so we'll continue to build upon those ideas throughout the uh, remainder of your career in family science here at OC. I also want to talk a little bit about our program specific. There are a lot of interesting points uh, about our program that should be made. First, um, let's talk about study abroad. People are always asking about study abroad, and that question says, how would one of OC's study abroad programs benefit a family science major? I encourage you to do one of the study abroad programs if you are able. I was a student. I started in 1995, so 20 years ago now. I was a student at OC 25 years ago. Wow. My biggest regret from my time as a student is uh, all of my friends one semester, my best friends, all took off either for Vienna or for what was called the PAC-RIM study back then. And I didn't go. I didn't apply to go, and I've regretted that choice ever since. And I really want you to go study abroad. I really want you to either do the Vienna Studies program and get some courses while you're there, or go on a mission trip that gets you out of our country. And I think this will benefit you because it's going to allow you to see how family is done in other places in the world. One of the early chapters that you're going to read this week talks about culture and how culture impacts the way we do family and what family is. And to be able to see that firsthand is just an amazing, amazing thing. It's just an amazing thing. Now, I want you to also get my cheap plug in. I lead a group every summer to New Zealand. We go to Auckland, New Zealand for a mission trip where we do 2 weeks of mission work on the ground in Auckland, and then we do 1 week backpacking through the New Zealand high ground. Missionary friends of ours that are there have their own ministry called High Ground, where they lead groups up into the mountain there and do backpacking trips. So I love that. I love that mission trip. It got canceled this year because of the virus, and I'm very sad about that. But that's just another way that you could go and experience family in a different culture. And on that trip, you get to experience family really firsthand because uh, you'll actually stay with families. Families volunteer to host our students, and you'll live with them for a couple of weeks, and it's really a blast to get to know those families well and see how they do things. So definitely go on a study abroad program or a mission trip. You will not be disappointed, and I believe that you will. I believe that you will benefit as a family science major just seeing how family is done in other places. The next question, what is the purpose of a practicum or an internship? Well, that's a great question because it's a big part of our program. Your last year, either the summer before your senior year or one of the 2 semesters of your senior year, you will complete a practicum. And those practicums and those internships are important because they do a couple of things. They get your foot in the door in the field. They get you experience in the field. If you perform well, they're going to get you recommendations from people who are already in the field as you apply to grad school or to full-time jobs after graduating from OC. And so using those opportunities just to further yourself along as a family scientist is great. I totally recommend those things. While you will have to do a practicum for family science, I would never discourage you from doing more than one. Having internships during the summer, those are totally okay with me at any age, but the one that will actually count for your family science practicum has to be done your senior year. The more things you can do in the field, just the more well-rounded that will make you, and the more experience that you'll have. So really just gaining that type of experience. When it comes to our family science practicum, there are several requirements. The first is it's a 126-hour practicum, which means over the course of the semester, that's about 10 hours a week that you will be going to this organization or agency or wherever it is that you find and choose to do your practicum at. Within that practicum, you will be exposed to different parts of the field. So we have had people that want to do marriage and family therapy that go to do their practicums at a couple of different family therapy clinics in Edmond, Oklahoma City. Typically that are owned at least partially or run by alums of our department, and so that's pretty cool. People that want to do social work have done their practicums for DHS and Child Development Services and other areas as well, nonprofits, things like that. All great experience. We've had several that want to do child life specialty, and so they've gotten practicum experience at different pediatric clinics or hospitals around, and that's great as well. So there's lots of opportunity. There's a ton of other umbrellas that we might fit under, and so there's a lot of opportunity for students to get experience in the particular part of the field that they want to get experience in. As part of that practicum, you will write a paper about your experience and how that connects to the things that you have learned in the program. That's one of the reasons why we make you wait till your last year. We want you to have as much of the program under your belt as possible. You'll be required to actually show up and represent OC and the Family Science Department well. In all my time doing this, I'm entering my 9th year of teaching here. In all my time doing this, we have never had a bad review of a student, and so I don't want you to be the first. And so we want you to take this seriously, represent the school well, represent the program well, and represent yourself well, because these are things you can build a career on as you move forward. You'll also do some things that are related to career development that we will work with through day 6, where you will have a full CV or VITA, which we'll talk about in a second what that is, created. You'll experience looking for and identifying jobs in the field, those types of things. So several different requirements for this practicum. Uh, when we talk about what's next after OC, many of you will go on to graduate school, whether you are a family science or a human development and family science major. Our field is a graduate school driven field. Uh, the more education you get, the easier it is to advance in your careers. Now, grad school is not for everybody, and we are not saying that this degree is useless if you choose not to go to grad school. It is not useless at all. In fact, you will be able to find work and employment. However, when we say that our fields are graduate driven, that typically means that advancement in the career, depending on where you are at, uh, may be more likely if you have a more specialized degree in graduate school. So family science kind of helps prepare you for that. Kind of the way to think about it is if you want to do social work, you can get into social work with your family science degree, but you're going to be able to advance if you take this degree to an MSW, a Master's of Social Work program, and get that completed for graduate school, and then go out to do that. Or if you want to do therapy, obviously you have to be licensed for that. So at the next level, you would go to a marriage and family therapy program or some other type of counseling program at the graduate level. And they're going to prepare you for that specialization and get you ready for the requirements that you need to do for licensure. So that's what we mean by graduate driven. Again, not everyone wants to go to graduate school or can, and that's okay. You can still definitely work in our field. If you do go to grad school, there are three broad categories of financial aid that you will be able to have access to. The first is fellowships. These are similar to scholarships, where you will have requirements for either research or writing or something, and you'll be granted X amount of dollars for that. My last year of graduate school, I received a fellowship for my dissertation, and so they paid for my dissertation hours. This fellowship paid for my dissertation hours and allowed me to basically take those dissertation hours without any of my own money out of pocket. And my requirements were I had to write an article for this group that awarded the fellowship, and I had to present my research findings to this group at an event that they had. And so it was really cool. It was a good way to get money for school. Another category for financial aid at graduate school is grants and loans. Not uncommon. Many of you who maybe have gotten grants and loans for your school at the undergraduate level. And then the third broad category are assistantships. At the graduate level, either being a teaching assistant or a research assistant. Most often those assistantships come with a stipend and a course credit financial package. So they may pay for X number of hours of your school, or give you X amount of hours for free, and then give you a stipend or a small paycheck on top of that. I was able to go through my PhD program at Oklahoma State with assistantships every year, that both research and teaching, that helped me not only get my hours covered and paid for, but also allowed me to have a little income. So whenever you're applying to graduate school, definitely those are questions that you want to ask. And then finally, what is a CV, Vita? What is this? You keep using that word. It's basically a resume on steroids for researchers. For whatever reason, I'm not able to share my screen outside of that one tab, and so I can't show you my Vita, but I am going to I'll figure out a way to show it to you at some point where you can see what it is. It basically includes all of your education experience, your work experience, all the research that you've done, all presentations that you've made, all articles that you have published, everything, all awards that you've gotten. Like, it's just everything related to family science in Vita. Some Vitas, like my mentor, my advisor for my PhD program, Dr. Henry at OSU, who is an OC alum, by the way. She has been doing family science research for decades, and so her Vita, if printed off, would be thick. Mine's not quite that big, but I haven't been doing it as long as she has. She's published a ton of articles and those types of things. So we'll let you look at some Vitas and point you in the direction of a couple of those. On Wednesday, I'll actually take you to a website that I think you'll enjoy, not just for the APA stuff, but for some of this other stuff as well. Okay, so we've walked through that, and I think that is very important for us today. Encourage you to continue to read through the NCFR book, PDF, Families, Careers in Family Science. I think you'll benefit from that and capitalizing on your degree in family science and the things that you can do with that. There are any number of areas from which you can practice family science, and so I want you to really pay attention to some of the charts in that in that pamphlet, especially Table 2, which gives you focus of practice in family science, and it just lists all of these different places where you can find a home working in family science. Everything from child life specialty, like we talked about, to family policy, to working as a executive director, volunteer coordinator, or other position at a nonprofit, being in education, just all over the board. Ministry, there's a ton that you can do in family science, and so I hope that you will explore that. Okay, I want to again make sure as we close out today you are reading chapter 1 and chapter 2 today. Those are your introductory chapters into family science, into the field of family science, into family itself and how we define family. Make sure that you are reading those. Make sure that you download those PowerPoints and walk through those presentations as you are reading. If you have any questions about them, make sure that you shoot me an email or a text, because on Friday you will be tested over the material in those chapters. On Wednesday, we're going to spend some time we'll spend a little time talking about research and what it is, and we'll talk about where to find it, and we'll talk about writing in APA style. So until then, have a great couple of days. Get to reading, and I will see you on Wednesday. Have a great day.